Alrighty, good evening, ladies and gents. Just a quick disclaimer before we start. A beginner to this content creation, so I'm not gonna have the best flow with my tutorial here, and also the quality of the sound might suffer. I don't have the microphone that I have is from my laptop, so I don't have a specialized microphone or soundproofing to remove external noise, so you might hear some of that. But hopefully the quality is not too bad. The other disclaimer is, pardon if I slur my words a bit. I just got back from the gym and I should be good, but I do experience migraines that affects my speech. So that is the reason for a lack of fluency or articulation. So with those disclaimers out of the way, let us begin. So today I'm going to be giving a tutorial on how to create a local DB with SQLite and SvelteKit. This mini application is going to, what we see here is going to be the different actions we would be able to do with this local DB. So we could register a user, we could log in with that user, and that's about it. The template you see, so this is going to be the end result of what we're going to be building. The template, well, not the template, but rather the code that you see here, the UI, is already pre-made, not just for this video, but I use a repository base called BaseKit, which is a template of the things I commonly use. So yeah, it's just a repository that I use for most projects to just get things up and running. That comes with ChatCN for the UI. It comes with some other libraries like Svelte Sonar for the toast notification and a few other things. All that is going to be in the repository, so you guys can check it out then. So let's go do a quick walkthrough of the end result here, what we're going to be building today. In this application, we're going to be able to register the user, the registration, as well as the login. It has a validation that we're going to create. So if we try to register with an invalid email, it's going to inform us as such. And then if all is correct, we're able to successfully create a user. Let's just do one more. Test email 222. We also have validation if that email already exists. It's going to inform us as such, so we don't have a user with duplicate emails for uniqueness. So let's just call this 2, and then we have Sam registered. Now I'm going to log in as Ed. When we log in, there is a dashboard route, which is only accessible or visible rather, well, both accessible and visible via the link if there is a login session. The login session is being handled, it's something basic that is being handled through cookies. So we'll walk through that as well. And when you are logged in, you don't need to view the login and register link. So that's hidden with the conditional that we have in place. So we log out, and that is the quick walkthrough. So let's begin building. We'll load up our starting place, which is here. And let's first create, what do you call it? The route. Don't mind all this. This is just from my past attempts to get this video up and running properly. But yeah, let's first create the route. I like creating my routes, my off routes, and a off folder, just in case if I want to style those pages differently than the rest of the website, I'll be able to do so with a plus layout, that Svelte file. And we're going to create the register route. We're going to have these 2 pages in place. And let's just do a quick thing. Just keep it at H2 because it's going to be our H2 later. So we'll call it register. And I also use this, let me just close out my terminal, but I also use one of the other pre-made things in this repository is this file right here and this function to create a navigation link. The reason I find this useful is it's pretty clear and has all the things that I need for the most part for a accessible navigation link. You don't, for I don't believe that you need to have an area label if the anchor tag has some text, but sometimes that text is not always too descriptive for screen readers. Like right now, I have a line called home, which we see here, home. And home is not always too descriptive, so adding a more descriptive area label, wouldn't hurt, and it's probably a good thing, especially for people who are not able, who are visually impaired. So this function helps me do that, and let's create the link for our register page. Register. Awesome. This library, one of the libraries that this repository is using is a library called, let's see, vplugin kit routes. And what this is, essentially, it allows us to have type safety and autocomplete for our routes. And this is very important to prevent us from using a route that is invalid. So I mean, such as this example, I do have a folder, a route named register, right? But the pathing that I specified for this is wrong. So if we load up the autocomplete to see what's available, we can see that we have our home route and our proper register route with the off in the pathing. So definitely check it out. It's super neat. I use it in most of my project, probably all moving forward. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. And now, since we made that link, we are able to see our registration route. Next, let's just build out the form. I'm going to use another pre-made component called input field. It's essentially a component to allow us to have to use different types of inputs with proper labeling already in place, proper error displays, all that. We could actually let's pull up that component right now. So it takes a couple of props. Only the type prop is required because I think it's good to specify. You need to specify the type of the input. And from there, we have everything wrapped within a label, the whole input itself. And then we have a div within that label that contains a spam to display the label. And if we want to specify max length, we'll do that as well. We'll actually demonstrate that in this tutorial. And if there is an issue with the input that the user gave, we could display that error message within the label, and then we just have the input itself. So we'll see how all that works, or the visual for it, in a little bit. Let's just specify the type. The type, as you saw. Oh, I gotta close out this tag. The type, as you saw, it has a type of HTML input attributes type, so we could have proper type safety and autocomplete for that. So as we just see here, and then we have the name property, which is just going to be name, and the label, it's going to be name. All right, that is awesome. Let's just make 2 more copies of this. We're going to change this to email, and this is going to be email as well. So let's just do that to be lowercase and make this password and password. Oops, I can't spell password. Yeah, awesome. And then boom. We're going to import another component, submit. Oh no, submit. Shoot, my autocomplete is not working for some reason. Let me just pause and restart my VS Code. All right, so I restarted and my autocomplete seems to be working again, and we are good to go. So I don't know if that issue is just unique to me where sometimes there's no autocomplete for your imports. But if somebody has experienced this and knows a solution, please let me know. My solution right now is just to restart the VS Code window. So we got those fields in place. Let's see how they look like. Awesome. Let's improve the styling a bit. So we're going to first style this H2. And the reason we're using an H2 is it's better to use a H1 as the main heading. But this is just for demonstration purposes. And plus we are going to put, so on the left side, we're going to have the register user form. And then on the right side, we're going to display all the registered users as we saw from the demo earlier. So it's good to only have one H1 for your per page. So that's why we're using H2, so we can just still have similar styling, etc. So what am I doing? So this is going to be text to XL. I'm gonna make it a font bold. And I think that's about it. We're going to just give it a bit margin bottom so things are good. And we're going to give some styling to this too. For now, we're just going to do space Y4. And that should look much better. Awesome.